Brought to you by Penguin.
The Old Ways, A Journey on Foot, by Robert MacFarlane. Read by Roy McMillan. For Julia, Lily, and Tom, and those who keep the paths open. Much has been written of travel, far less of the road. Edward Thomas, The Icknield Way, 1913. My eyes were in my feet. Nan Shepherd, The Living Mountain, 1977. Author's note. This book could not have been written by sitting still. The relationship between paths, walking, and the imagination is its subject, and much of its thinking was therefore only possible, while on foot. Although it is the third book in a loose trilogy about landscape and the human heart, it need not be read after or in the company of its predecessors. It tells the story of walking 1,000 miles or more along old ways in search of a route to the past, only to find myself delivered again and again to the contemporary. It is an exploration of the ghosts and voices that haunt ancient paths, of the tales that tracks keep and tell, of pilgrimage and trespass, of songlines and their singers, and of the strange continents that exist within countries. Above all, this is a book about people and place, about walking as a reconnoitre inwards, and the subtle ways in which we are shaped by the landscapes through which we move. Part 1. Tracking. England. 1. Track. All things are engaged in writing their history. Not a foot steps into the snow or along the ground, but prints in characters more or less lasting a map of its march. The ground is all memoranda and signatures, and every object covered over with hints. In nature, this self-registration is incessant, and the narrative is the print of the seal. Ralph Waldo Emerson, 1850. 2 days short of the winter solstice, the turn of the year's tide. All that cold day the city and the countryside around felt halted, paused. 5 degrees below freezing, and the earth battened down. Clouds held snow that would not fall. Out in the suburbs, the schools were closed, people homebound, the pavements rinky, and the roads black-iced. The sun ran a shallow arc across the sky. Then, just before dusk, the snow came, dropping straight for 5 hours and settling at a steady inch an hour. I was at my desk that evening, trying to work, but distracted by the weather. I kept stopping, standing, looking out of the window. The snow was sinking through the orange cone cast by a streetlight, the fat flakes showing like furnace sparks. Around 8 o'clock the snow ceased. An hour later I went for a walk with a flask of whiskey to keep me warm. I walked for half a mile along dark back roads where the snow lay clean and unmarked. The houses began to thin out. A few undrawn curtains, family evenings underway, the flicker and burble of television sets, the cold like a wire in the nose, a slew of stars, the moon flooding everything with silver. At the southerly fringe of the suburb, a last lamp-post stands by a hawthorn hedge, and next to it is a hole in the hedge which leads down to a modest field path. I followed the field path east-southeast towards a long chalk hilltop, visible as a whaleback in the darkness. Northwards was the glow of the city, and the red blip of aircraft warning lights from towers and cranes. Dry snow squeaked underfoot. A fox crossed the field to my west at a trot. The moonlight was so bright that everything cast a crisp moon shadow, black on white, stark as woodcut. Wands of dogwood made zebra hide of the path. Hawthorn threw a lattice. The trees were frilled with snow, which lay to the depth of an inch or more.
Sample complete.
Ready to continue?